Hello and welcome to this walkthrough of the Ultimate Success Formula by Anthony Robbins. I'm Rita Nelligan Medcar from First Position Performance Development, and I'm delighted that you're joining us just to understand a little about this wonderful formula. It's a very simple model that I'm going to be sharing. It has 5 simple steps to it and 2 other extras that I'll share information about. This tool is so practical and so useful in so many ways. It can be used for preparing a 5-minute conversation or planning your whole strategic modeling for life and your plans and goals for life too. So let's start to look at the first step. And the first step is knowing your outcome. As with many of the steps, they're fairly obvious and straightforward. It's not rocket science, as people say. It seems like it's a very good starting point, doesn't it, to know your outcome. What is it you're actually wanting to achieve? But I wonder how many times you've been at a meeting or you've been doing something and arranging things with even friends or family, and you forget whilst you're in the middle of planning and organizing and doing, what am I here for? What's my outcome? What am I looking for? So to be able to pause, or at the start of a project, at the start of a call, at the start of something, to consider, what's my outcome here? What is it that I actually want to achieve? Is a very useful starting point. So that's our step number 1. And then we move on to step number 2, that is very often left out of the planning sequence. Know your reasons. And there's a big emphasis here on know your reasons. It's about your personal motivation. It's about what matters and is important to you about that outcome. You ask yourself, what is it that this outcome is going to give me? What is it going to do for me? And in answering that question, you'll either get some very resounding answers, which will tell you that that's the right outcome for you, or you won't. You won't have any reasons. And the fact is that if you don't have any reasons, personal reasons for what this outcome's going to give you, it's far less likely you're going to achieve it. You need that drive and motivation to keep you going past all any challenges and to really motivate you to take the actions you need to take to achieve it. So a really important question to ask yourself, what is this outcome going to give for me? Translate the outcome into what it's going to give you, and you'll be lighting the fire under your own motivation. Or when you're encouraging other people, help them understand what is in it for them. So with your motivation sorted, once you know your outcome and you know your reasons, the next is to take massive action. Now, Anthony Robbins is this big American chap who speaks loud and is a wonderful inspirational speaker. And it's sort of his languaging to say, take massive action. But this massive action has got like 2 elements to it. On the one side, it's take massive action. If that outcome is really important to you, it's like throw everything at it. Ensure that everything you're doing is taking you towards that goal. Have plans each day, check each day. Is what I'm doing achieving or focused and getting me towards that outcome or not? So you're throwing all your energy and focusing on it. Now, the other aspect, which is very, very important, is the taking of massive action, is committing to that first step. What is the first thing I can do to start me on the road towards that outcome, and committing to it? And as we know from any sort of coaching you do, or perhaps for yourself, realizing that when you want to make a change or make things different or start a project, that first stepping stone is really critical. And they do say that if you can commit when you've got that motivation, when you've got things in the air around you about that outcome and that excitement, take action immediately. Do something to make that first step, and you're much more likely to achieve your goal. So we've got know your outcome, know your reasons, take massive action, and then what? Then what is, when you have those massive, when you've taken the action, is to ensure you are checking and knowing what you're getting. It's not doing the action and putting all your energy and effort into it on like a treadmill, or working harder, putting more hours in and hoping that you're going to get towards that outcome. It's asking the question, is what I'm doing taking me closer towards that goal? Checking, monitoring, asking that question, is what I'm doing taking me closer to that goal or not? It's surprising how often we don't pause and ask that question. We put a lot of effort sometime into project planning and having plans laid out and deciding how we're going to approach something in the hope of achieving an outcome. But the pausing and asking the question, do I know what I'm getting, is fundamental and often missed out. So know your outcome. 2, know your reasons. 3, take massive action. 4, know what you're getting. And the 5th step is, if you know what you're getting, if you check what you're getting and discover that what you're getting isn't taking you closer towards your outcome, that your action isn't moving you forward, you want to change your approach. It's about being flexible. It's about realizing that there's many ways to achieve things, many ways of doing things, and that if one way doesn't work, there's another way that you can try, another approach. So you change your approach, you put in place your flexibility, you do something different. And what's fascinating about this is that the fact is that if what you're doing isn't moving you closer towards your goal, doing anything else stands a better chance of getting you there. I'll say that again because I think this is such a powerful learning. If what you're doing, if your massive actions are not taking you closer towards achieving your outcome, doing anything else stands a greater chance of getting you there. And doing anything else could mean just stopping that action. Okay. So here are the 5 steps. And what makes it very, the ultimate success formula is this looping here, is the fact that if you know that the action you're taking currently is not taking you towards your goal, and you realize that, and you are flexible and change your approach again and again, this formula has to work. Now, I bet you're wondering, and you're saying, yes, but how long do you keep on trying? How long do you keep going around that loop? Well, that really is the question for you to answer. How worthwhile, how important is this outcome to you? If it's incredibly important, you're going to devote a lot of energy and effort going around this loop until you find the approach that works. If, however, you realize that after investing time and energy, that outcome isn't actually worth the effort, let go of the outcome. Let go of it. Don't carry that monkey around on your back. Just say, okay, this isn't worth the time and effort. I know that if I kept at it, I could achieve it, but it's not worth the effort to me. Change your outcome. Let go of the outcome. Okay. Now, in terms of the massive action, Kevin and myself at First Position have added these 2 extra elements onto Anthony's model. And the first of them is in the respect of ensuring that your action you're taking to achieve your outcome, there's 2 elements. The first of all is managing yourself and your mood state, is being aware of how you operate at your best, how you're most efficient. It's what strategies you run, it's understanding yourself, it's how you communicate with yourself, and it's how you manage your mood states. And on the other side we have here is your relationships with other people. your ability to build rapport, maintain rapport, work collaboratively, gain support and influence from other people and influence them to help and support you towards your goal. So all in all, this model with all those elements is the ultimate success formula. The formula itself, this easy, I do hope that you will find it incredibly useful to remind yourself of these 5 steps. For some people, focusing on one of these areas, any one of the 5 steps that they know they've been remiss in paying attention to. For some people, it's reminding themselves about knowing their outcome. It's reminding themselves before they make that call. Why am I making this call? What do I want to achieve? It's in planning a meeting. Instead of having an agenda of items to be covered, it's setting an outcome at the top of the meeting. By 3 o'clock today, we will have achieved such and such, such and such and such and such. It can be a much more empowering and motivating way to approach a meeting. So it can be used in those, and for some people, it's the fact that they've forgotten to translate the outcomes that sometimes seem to be given to them as achievements, as goals, as targets, to translate them into their own understanding, their own reasons for why it's important to them, knowing their own personal reasons. So switching on that internal motivation. For other people, it's that they have dreams about they want this and they want that, and they never commit to that first or massive action. For other people, it's that they're almost like on a treadmill when it comes to delivering on a plan. They've said they're going to do it this way, and these are the elements, and they put more and more energy in. They work extra hours when when they don't seem to be getting close to their outcome. Instead of pausing and wondering, is this approach I'm taking getting me to where I want to go? And for other people, it's just not applying that flexibility. And the reminder that there are other ways of achieving things. There's not only one way. So different people have taken different elements to be the key bit for them. But all in all, this model can work in so many ways. And I trust as you start to play and use it, you'll find it of enormous benefit. If you want to know more about it, there's many, many resources. But if you'd like to contact us and have a chat about it, Kevin and myself would be delighted to have a quick chat with you. And we're always happy to talk about your development and help you and give you other hints and tips as to what you might do. So I trust you found that useful, and I look forward to hearing from you sometime. Bye-bye for now.